Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Let me fix the camera. Every time you do this, you have to reset everything after you go live. You can't do it, you can't preview it. When you preview it, it looks totally different than when you actually go live. So last night got the car pretty well sorted out. We're about two turns, about a tenth of an inch low on the driver's side. So technically, what we are is we're even, we're level, but with the weight of me, with 190 pounds, 188 pounds, it's going to drop a little. So we want it level when we're driving. So that side is going to be about a tenth of an inch up from the passenger side when it's parked. Hopefully, it's not something you can see. It's just something you know there. Hey, Liz. So tonight I wanted to do the battery terminals that I showed you guys yesterday, the quick release. And I did a stream putting them in the race car, but I thought some of the Miata folks would like to see them going into the Miata. These are the ones I got. These are from a company called Moto Power. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. They don't pay me. I bought these myself. They're about 10 bucks for a set on Amazon. And they're super cool because you have a covered terminal and then you lift up. It's harder when you don't have it on the battery terminal. And the battery terminal goes in there. Cable goes right here, gets clamped down. Then you close it. And there you go. And then you can cut out this is set up for like 8 gauge. You can cut it out for 4 or odd or whatever you need. If the cable is smaller than what's available there, you can just flip that top part down, which I don't think we're going to have to do on the Miata. But the one thing that I did do is I changed out the hardware. The Phillips screws and the nuts on here are okay. If you use Loctite on them, they probably won't vibrate loose. But I got a bag of hardware when I was in Ohio and brought it back with me. I'm sure that looked fun on TSA's thing. But I have a bunch of stainless steel hardware. These are jam nuts that have nylon inserts. And then I have slightly longer screws and then original size screws. So if we have a thicker cable, we can use longer screws. So the first thing I'm going to do on both the positive and the negative is remove the hardware, just because I know I'm not going to be using it. So there, that's out. And then this clamping tab, if you want, you can flip it over so that it'll clamp tighter on bare cable. So I'm just going to set these guys to the side. These guys can go in miscellaneous hardware. If you can, put the nut with the bolt when you have miscellaneous hardware and it's going to go in the storage. It just helps. Saves you time in the future. Going into MISC, we've got one more to do. They think this paper is recyclable. We're going to try. Remember, if you're not recycling, you're an asshole, just to let you in on that. This is nice. They did them in red and black. The first time you open these, it's really hard. They're very, very stiff. And then, I don't know, I don't know what that does. That helps flex the clamping mechanism or whatever, but then it's easier, much easier once you do it second, third, 100th time. So we'll get this hardware off of here. If you are going to use the OEM hardware, definitely put Loctite on these, some thread locker. Just blue is fine, just to keep them from vibrating away. There's nothing worse than going somewhere and finding a random nut or bolt Now, if you do new hardware, you need to do button head screws because of clearance. And you can't have screws that are too long, because if they go up through here and they're too long, this thing won't close. It'll hit the clamping mechanism and it'll only go down about yay far, then you don't have the connection that you need. So make sure your screws are the correct length. Remember, you only need 1 or 2 threads past the actual nut for it to be a solid clamp. So let's get the trunk open, and I'm going to grab that camera and I'm going to try and set the camera where you guys can see what I'm doing. Remember, the battery is right back here and it's kind of inside the fender, and it's a pain in the ass to get to. So it's going to take a second to get that stuff, get the battery out of the way, and then get the terminals apart and get these in. So hopefully you guys will be patient with all that stuff. So opening the trunk on the Miata, it's pretty easy with the lever. Oh, you guys, remind me to order the kit, the pneumatic kit, because with this awesome Wings West wing, the truck doesn't have enough power to stay open anymore by itself. That torsion bar barely hangs on. So this is our cover. We'll just set him to the side. And that is a Cover King car cover. And it is okay. It is not great. I got it a very, very long time ago. And it is not weatherproof. It's not dust proof. It's basically to keep bugs off. This is the OEM tonneau cover, and this came with the car. This thing's great. They're apparently very rare now. So if you can find one, it's a good score. I try to keep this guy in shape. I'm probably going to be driving this car tomorrow, so we're going to put the tonneau cover on. The other good part is that means it's out of the way. And it doesn't take very long to install. Some snaps here. Now it's a little different with the Boss Frog roll bar in here. I had to de-stitch some of it. The seam here in the corner had to be relieved, and we have a anti-flappy strap which comes up through here. It goes right here. So we have the little buttons right there. Little snaps, and then you have the pull buttons here. I'm trying to make this look a little professional. Where did my other... There it is. Doesn't take very long to put this on. Here's our anti-flap strap. He comes up through a little dent in the top frame, the frame for the top. And then make sure our window is folded correctly. It's just a matter of getting things smoothed out. Because when this thing gets folded up into its storage position, it gets creases and everything in it. These little guys just push in. The little push-in connectors, then in order to release them, you just lift on the outside edge. They just push in. And then the trick, these ends always lift just because they don't have any support on them. They're just ABS plastic. The trick is to do these ends as close to the front of the car as possible, then do the center. So these guys are in. Then do the center things here. These guys just click over. And then the last clips you'll do will be these corners. Make sure your top's down. And that is a nice tight fit right there. And you can just pull back from the inside edge and he'll just clip in. So there we go. Tonneau cover on, nice and tight. I wish there was a better way to do this with, I mean, I could cut the seam and everything for, you know, cut a hole for the Boss Frog, but undoing the seam has worked really well for now. So that's how we're going to leave it. And if it ever, you know, for some reason I replace the Boss Frog, I can just stitch it back up. It's only about 3 inches of the seam. So there's the tonneau cover and putting it on. Now this guy, I'm going to need a prop rod in order to hold him up. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to do something a little different so it's out of the way. See if this works. I haven't tried this before. That doesn't really seem like he's going to hold him, but it's enough. This is spare paper for painting something. I don't remember. You can go over here. We're not using them. Some pair of glasses in here. The spare tires in here. Believe it or not, I had the original spare tire, and now we have a newer spare. It's not a. It's just a donut spare. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Pete. Pete, I couldn't find you on Facebook or Instagram, so you'll have to shoot me a message. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to grab a light, which has been charging. Should be fully charged. And we're going to put them on the OEM spare. Hopefully, this gives us enough light in here. All right, I'm going to swing you guys around. We're going to go all the way around because the battery's on that side. So give me a second here. I need to make sure I have enough cord, which I don't. I'm trying not to step on it too. So I'm going to do this. Bring you guys on this side, back here, and then see if I can bring you guys in here. Oh, this tripod is somewhat of a joke. It's the one they included with the camera, and the legs actually don't go out far enough to make it stable. So hopefully that's going to be, nope, that is an awful shot. Let's see if I can get you guys. Oh, God, of course. All right, hang on a sec here. See if I can get you guys a halfway decent shot here. If he hangs on right there, nope. But if he hangs on right there, is that a little bit okay? You guys can see the battery here. So I'll back it up maybe just a little bit. Hopefully he stays put. All right, so you guys can see the battery here. I'm going to pull this back And you can see we have a diehard. Nope, you can't. But I promise it's a diehard. The one that I have is the diehard silver, and it is the U1 RT. Oh, this clamp got loose. Oh, this clamp got really loose. Okay. Well, it's a good thing. Good thing we're doing this. He is a 12 and a 12, I believe. I don't know how this guy got so loose. It's not like I've been doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff with the Miata, but he's definitely loose. So we have our OEM cables here. Wow. Okay. And there's also a battery maintainer, a Noco plug-in here. That's this guy, this fuse. And pull our tie down clamp. And then our tie down is actually the hold down is right here. He needs to come over and then come up, but we have to be careful not to touch the positive terminal, because if you do, you're going to be welding with this thing. That's why we want to do this stuff. Let me grab a pad here so I can do this a little more at Brad Williams height. If you get that reference, thanks. So here's our positive terminal, and then you can see all the way in the back is our negative terminal. And the only other thing we have hooked up here is this, and we might redo this tape here. He's just gotten one. We have our positive and our negative. So we're going to take our, this is the pain in the ass, taking the positive off first. Now you can't switch these terminals, or else you can't move the battery, because you can't switch you can't switch the terminals because the main battery cord isn't long enough to do that, to bring it back around. So you got to have your negative on the inside, which kind of sucks. So you got to pull your positive first, which I don't really like to do. I like to pull the negative first. So let's see. And you have to be very careful here, because if you touch the car with that, it's bad. Let's just do a socket and be really careful here. I believe he's a 10. Heard that before, right? Just double check. I like the rubber boot. I like all of the stuff here, but I don't like the possibility of welding. I'm keeping my hand here to keep it from touching. All right, so our overhead light just went off because we lost power to the car. Got to reprogram all the stereo stuff too. Let's see, who else is here? You can see the battery, cool. Now I can do the negative. Again, you don't have a ton of room to work in here. It's a very small area. And that just comes right off. So this is also concerning. I have part of the ground here. Oh, damn it. I might have to redo this ground. I'm gonna, at the very least, have to clean that up. So let me pull that off. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'm gonna pull this bracket off. I never noticed that before. This feels spring loaded for some reason. I guess it's just cable loaded, yeah. So if you can see that, this is not thrilling. And this is just from pulling the terminal on and off year after year after year after year. Battery after battery after battery. So I'm going to take a look at that. What I might do is crimp them back together and solder it, and then do yeah, because it's just a few strays. It's less than a third, but whoa, if we clean all that up, we can get some heat shrink around that. And if I can, I'll solder this too. So that might have to be, that'll take a little bit longer. I really don't want to replace this cable. It's a nice OEM cable, and it's a 8 gauge, I think, maybe a 4, or maybe a 6. It's a nice enough cable. It's fine. It's going to work for everything we need to do, but I need this cleaned up. This has been twisted and some of it's broken off, but about 2/3 is still in the crimp in that clamp. So we can clean that up, get it soldered where everything is still together, and hopefully that'll be enough for it. So let me try and get the camera a little bit closer for you guys. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's really bright. I apologize. Yep, the cable will always be in the way. Even after I move it, it's in the way. Okay. So we're done with this terminal. And the other thing I guess I'm going to do is move these. First off, let's get our battery out of here so we have room to work. So now the battery can come out, but you have to be really careful because this is still technically hot. So if it touches up here, bad things are going to happen. You definitely don't want to do any welding. And it's super tight fit. And you can see it's not a very big battery. And it's a diehard silver U1 RT. And RT means negatives on the right. I don't know what it means. But we'll put this on the maintainer and we'll do these terminals. Pro tip: never, ever, ever put a battery on concrete. I don't know what it is. It's some phenomenon. It'll drain that battery right away. Not right away, overnight. But never put a battery on concrete. It does something. I don't know what it is. It does something with the plates inside. It's just not good. So for this, we're gonna redo our NOCO lines 2, I think. So now I can work a lot easier in here because I don't have any juice. It feels much safer. So we get that off, and our NOCO is off. Now, we can peel back. Which way do I want to go with this? I think I want to come towards the terminal. Now, of course, this is going to have two separate powers going to it. One goes directly to the starter, and then the other goes to the power distribution center. So you can see there's two. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to save this. So I don't know if I can, though. He's going to be in the way. See how that negative can just constantly be in the way? He's not even going to stay put. I don't know. Is he glued? He's just hard to move. So there we go. Kind of. So yeah, so there's our positive terminal, and he has two wires in there, and they're crimped in nice and tight. So what I'd actually like to do is, because of the design of the quick release, I'd actually like to cut this right here, and I'm going to grab the Dremel and do that. Since these guys are already crimped together, that'll save me from having to crimp them together, hold them together when I'm clamping down. This is already a nice connection. So if I just Dremel this off on the back, I can pull this boot off. This can go become the positive terminal right away. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be loud, so I'm going to set the mic away. Or I might just, can I put you guys on mute while I do that? I think I can. I might do a mute while I do that. Please don't take offense. Where did my charger go? Here he is. Nope. Nope. Yeah. No. What is my problem? Oh, that's because it's for a totally different unit. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Here he is. I'm like, how come he won't click in? Well, that's because it's not the right one, dummy. There we go. All right. So I'm going to put earphones on. I'm going to put you guys on mute. I'm just going to Dremel that off really quick. So, all right. All right, mute. Okay, so that got trimmed off. We'll vacuum all this stuff out. But I can also pull off this nice plastic boot. And if we have somewhere else we want to use that, we can use that somewhere else. Here's the piece that is warm. We're going to put that in there and call it done. And yeah, this will work out. This will work out great. So our clamp can clamp right on here. And yeah, that should work out really good. Okay. So let's grab our red clamp. Where did I put him? It's right here. So we're going to do a red clamp here and here. And he's going to clamp onto those two guys. Yeah, that should actually be okay. I hope. Let's see. If we flip this over, it doesn't grab on as well. So, all right. Take off the headphones because we're not doing any more clamping or cutting. So we have our original size, our mediums, and we actually have our longs. There's our mediums, which we're probably going to need for this. Another medium. Nope. Yeah, that's a medium. And then jam nut and jam nut. So these are the medium length screws. God, this is so hard. So those are the medium length screws and just a jam nut for them. And the jam nut has a nylon insert in the top end of it. So when you clamp it down, even with vibration, it's not going to go anywhere. So let's see if we can get this started. Start on the bottom side. Oh yeah, I gotta get tools for this. This is the hardest part. This is you need coordination part. Because it helps to have someone hold the cable while you're trying to put this thing on there. While you put it on, you also have to hold it in place while you clamp it. It's hard. A more optimal clamping method would be great, but this works for now. All right, let me grab some tools. I'm also going to turn the fan on over here just to get some air moving. Air gets pretty stagnant here. All right. Wrench is metric. Although, no, these are not metric. These are inch. If I am not mistaken. No, maybe not. I thought they were inch. Yeah, they are. Okay. So the Allen head is 3/32. Wait. No, the Allen head is 1/8. And the nut is 11/32. Is it? Yep, 11:32. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing on here. Now, hopefully, I'm not going to block a lot of your view. There's no way for me to hold that like that. So this is the balancing act that I was talking about. Now, the downside about those jam nuts is that they're always under tension. But that's also a good thing. Whoa, come back here. So I'm holding the socket wrench and I'm turning the head of the screw. And it is slowly clamping down on both of them. I just have limited throw here. This little tiny trunk in the Miata. So do a little bit on one side, come back up to the other side, do the same thing. It's a little hard to tell, but the socket's rotating with it. So it is holding the nut in place. Just want to make sure we're shaped correctly here. Yep. Oh my gosh. I'm balancing on one knee and using my lower back to balance the top of my body. So if it helps, I'm sacrificing my body for you guys too. And for this Miata. Yeah, we're pretty damn close. I might actually have to switch out to the smaller screws, which is fine. Just want to make sure this thing gets on there. Come on. So there we go. That's on there. You straighten it out a little because for years he's been angled. So we're going to have to do a little trimming up here. I know this thing just couldn't be more in the way, could it? Even if I put it back there, he's still going to spring into the way. See, he's still going to come up. So I'm going to have to do some trimming here to make sure that this lays flat and it'll cover up those. Now our terminals are fully covered and it'll still fit under the cover of this, which is going to be awesome. Now this is going to be a little more difficult. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut off here and just use their crimp, But I'm going to come back here and I'm going to use, uh, I'm going to get this straight. I'm going to comb it out and I'm going to solder up here too because this is exposed after God knows how many years. Maybe I can pull some of it. Sometimes you can get the insulation. Oh, yeah. And you can pull it back into place. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So now that insulation's all the way back there, or damn close to back there. Anyway, so I just have to do this side. I need to comb this stuff out, and I need to get some heat shrink over this. And I'll do a couple of layers of heat shrink to make sure it's considerably more stable. And I'll get this end cut off. Can you guys still see all that stuff? Let's see. What do we got here? Hey, Peter, you got to tell me which Peter you are because, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook because I don't remember which Peter you are or Pete. So yeah, we'll cut this one off. We're going to do the same thing that we did on this. We're going to use this crimp to clamp on. So that's kind of it. I'll do that for you guys really quick since we're here. Let me grab the headphones. They're not headphones, they're earmuffs. And I'm going to mute you guys again. I'm going to turn off the mic if that's okay. That thing's really hot. 10 sets of gloves. Nothing within reach, right? Okay. Oh, of course, they're in the other direction. Flex this guy. He comes right apart. Not my cleanest cut ever. So I'm going to clean him up just a touch. I'm going to round. Actually, I'm going to leave those, but I'm going to face this a little bit. These are actually really nice connectors, you guys. These are, it looks like silver, like zinc coated brass. These are actually really nice connectors for, cheap commuter car. So I'm just going to face this a little bit. But yeah, I like the flange there. That makes it a lot more difficult for it to slip out. So let me mute you guys and do that quick. Okay. That looks a lot better. Let's see if we can't get some of these straightened out. We've got messages from people. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, watch out. It's hot. 97 NA a couple of weeks back. 97 NA a couple of weeks back. Where did I meet you at? Did I meet you here in Florida? Sorry if it's all clicky. Trying to get this sort of straightened out here. It's been jumbled for a long time and then retwisted and then crunched back together and then retwisted. So, and then folded over. What I really need is like a metal comb. I guess I could use a brass brush, right? Even a steel brush would do it. Glad I still have my nails. Tomorrow is mani-pedi, so might as well get it done now, right? So we've got this guy cleaned up nice. Now we'll be able to do some heat shrink right here, and we'll do a couple layers of heat shrink right here. I'll solder this, and that'll keep those strays with the main pack. So we're in good shape there. I just come in here sometimes. Asked about suspension upgrades a couple weeks ago. Yeah. You had to go to Oregon to pick yours up? Had to go to Oregon. Do you have a shop in Tampa? Trying to figure out where I've met you. I'm going to put this guy back up here so that I don't lose him. Like that. Where the hell did he go? Let's do it left-handed upside down. See if that works better. Oh, yeah, that works perfect. Yeah, if you look back here, you can see some of the old insulation. And then, like we were talking about on a couple of streams before, on Liz's car, she doesn't have a tie down, and they put a battery in here. But the car, every time you hit a bump, and Ohio roads, every time you hit a bump, it's literally going right into the fender. And she has a bunch of dents and stuff on the outside of the fender because they never strapped it down. You live in California. Oh, okay. Cool. I thought we'd met before, so my apologies. I have a friend in Tampa who has an NA that he got from Oregon. So that's why I was asking. Hardware to the side. Our old clamps to the side. Kind of cool. Trying not to drown in my own snot. Put this guy back together for now because we have to do some soldering. So what we can do is, I mean, we don't need these wrenches anymore. We do need the 12s. but we don't need the 10. That's good news. Put that guy back. And our temporary comb. You know what we've been missing tonight? That's what we've been missing tonight. That's why I'm sweating. Okay, so we don't need that. We have our battery hold down. There's a piece of foam here. I don't know if it's shifted or what. That might be part of it. The foam actually condensed, and I think that's why the battery was loose. Might still be able to use these. Not my favorite, but I can probably put them on the underside of the quick release for each of them. I might just redo them. These are kind of beat up, so I'll probably pull these off, do some on the correct sides, and I guess I can do them. I can do them on the underside here. That'd be fine. But yeah, and I need to trim out because we have 2 cables here. This one, let's see if it fits. Yeah, I'll probably have to trim out as well. Oh, he does fit. So he's good for 6 or 8 gauge. So this guy should be okay because once he goes in there, he's going to be like that. But we're going to leave this off because we're going to do heat shrink and solder up here. Well, solder and then heat shrink. So this guy will get clamped in here like so. He'll be able to close down, be like that. And then whenever we want to do stuff with the Miata battery, we can actually pull this off, pull him, and since the positive terminal's covered, this one's basically covered. We can close him back up once we get him off. He's basically covered except for the underside. So yeah, this will work out really, really, really well. I'm very happy with this. These guys are going to be great in this car. Very, very happy with that. I didn't know I was going to be doing soldering. Otherwise, yeah. But that's the fun part about live streaming, right? Hey, I didn't know I was going to be soldering. So I'm going to bring you guys back up here since we're kind of sort of done with that for right now. We'll rotate rotate it that way. Bring you guys back around here. Get the pad out. Hopefully that stays put. So now you can see basics. So the 1/8 Allen is what I got for the screws and 11/32, and you can barely hear. This thing, these little guys, I got it. I don't remember where I got them. I got this, which is a 1/4 drive, and then I got a 3/8 drive. I've talked about tools before. Check this out. So if you want to go in the opposite direction, you just push it that way. And I think these guys are 96 teeth because they are so smooth and so quiet. I mean, you don't hear it ratcheting at all. These guys are awesome. The only tools I have left are the 12s for cranking down this. Once we get the, oh, that washer just fell off the other end. Once we get the battery back in there. And actually, it looks like, does that look like it's not square anymore? I think when the foam settled, this thing started to vibrate and it's not square anymore. So we might have to square him back up, or it's from getting it in there. And yeah, no, it's from the battery going back and forth once he got loose. So we'll square this guy back up again, and that should hold the battery. Or let me double check. He actually might not fit. Is that what that is? No, he fits it. Yeah, so we'll get a hammer on that and we'll get him flexed and back in the correct spot. So a couple things we're going to do: solder this and heat shrink. Get this clamped down. We're going to swap out for shorter screws on this, and then he's done. And then we're going to do the smaller terminal connectors so that they can go on with one of those. So just a couple more things to do on this, which are not huge, and it's stuff I've covered before. Swapping out these terminals and changing out the screw. Do one screw at a time. That way it stays clamped. In theory, it'll probably get loose, but do one screw at a time. And I'll do that after I've done this. And also, I want to get some new, I'll take off this is old tape, and it's gotten hot and cold and everything. And I'll add some heat shrink on here, or I have some new split loom, heatable split loom I might add. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is gross. Oh, gross. Oh, those are actually soldered. Nice. All right, so yeah, we'll do some heat shrink on these guys. New heat shrink that actually looks and works well. I don't know why. I think I did it at the time because that's all I had was this super Gorilla tape. It worked okay, but it gets hot in here and super sticky. God. Is this what those girls do to the bukkake their face feels like? Like after? Is it that sticky? Did I say that out loud? Sorry. Anyway, once yeah, I can't do it because of the fuse. Yeah. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll get some new stuff on here. So we have our back here is our connector for the battery maintainer, and it works nice. It's just a simple NOCO connector. Be nice, but I can't get heat shrink over this. That part sucks. Actually, if I pull the fuse out, it's still kind of. I might be able to. I'll do the smaller heat shrink here, and then if I pull the fuse out, I might be able to get, because it goes 4-to-1. I might be able to get the larger one over both, you know? So like this, and do the larger one, and maybe do a couple of those. That might work. So got to figure this stuff out. I don't want to drag you guys through this. You've seen how these work. You saw it on the MR6 on the race car, and we're going to be doing them on the limo as well, just because it's a great design and it's so convenient when you're doing stuff with electricity, changing stuff out all the time. So hopefully you guys are liking these. I got positive feedback from the Lemons guys. They seem to like it. So we'll see how that goes. When we go to the next event, we'll see who's got it and who doesn't, right? So thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for being patient and everything. And if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please let me know. Happy to answer the comments and answer your questions. Like I said before, if there's something you want to see in here, definitely let me know. Shoot me a message. Say, hey, Kev, do you know anybody who's got an XYZ we can check out? I'm like, yeah, I'll see if I can find someone who does. And if there's something you want to see specific on a car, whether it's suspension, engine, electrical, whatever, definitely shoot me a message and I'll go into a lot more detail, as much detail as I can about all this stuff, and try and get all of your questions answered. I love doing this for you guys. And to all the new subscribers, I saw a whole bunch of new subscribers over the last few days. Thank you guys very much. I don't get paid for any of this. I love teaching. I love showing people how to do stuff. I love showing off cool new products. wait to see the bore scope. It's on charge right now. I got a new bore scope. It's so badass. So I love showing you guys cool new tools. I got really cool new tools on the way. Aside from the bore scope, we'll do a tool episode here pretty soon and show you some of the cool new stuff. Most of my big toolbox and all my major tools are in Ohio, so I'm futzing around with all of the ultra basics here, but we're getting it done and we're having a great time with it. Limo's running and driving great. Viper's perfect. Miata's in awesome shape. It'll be even better after this. Yeah, I'll do a new tools thing, which would be hopefully you guys dig on that. I think that's about it for tonight. We're going to take the Miata for a drive tomorrow. We're going to Fort Myers, and I'm going to see my friend Bob Oakman. And I don't know if you guys know Bob. You have definitely heard Bob. Bob is the monster truck voice guy. Sunday, wheelie ripping monster truck. I have to fake that voice. That's just how Bob talks. I'd like a large Coke. That's just how he talks. So thankfully, Bob's a great friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for 25 years, almost 25 years now. And he looks exactly like his voice. He's like 6'5". He looks like a Viking. He's huge. He's a lot of fun. Super cool guy. Of course, he rides a Harley. Of course. So going to hook up with Bob tomorrow. And we're going to put some miles on the Miata so we can get that rear suspension exactly where we want it, which is going to be really nice. When I finish up here tonight, I'm going to do those last 2 turns to get that little extra for my weight on the side here. And then we should be done with the suspension on the Miata, which would be great. And I'll let you guys know how that comes out. I have all the numbers still on the side. I don't know if you saw that when we started. But I'll let you know how it comes out. I think we were shooting for 23 and a quarter or 23.2 inches. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we'll see how it bounces out. We'll do, it's about 100 miles. So that should level everything out. And Miata will be 99%. And hopefully, since we put the tonneau cover back on, it doesn't rain tomorrow. The Miata in Florida is such an awesome drive. It's such a great car. So we'll do a ton of updates on this car. And we got tons of car events coming up. And it's winter is coming. I know there's fall and pumpkin spice and all that shit, but there's winter coming. And it's funny because the rest of the country, everyone's car's in the garage. In Florida, Texas, Arizona, and that other place way, way, way out west, not left coast, they are still open. And everyone, all in the weekends, there's cruises, there's all this stuff. It's amazing. Like Christmas Eve cruise. And you're like, I've never done that before in my life. I take my beater out on Christmas Eve. I don't take my nice car. I'm taking my motorcycle out Christmas Eve. Never done that before. That was amazing to do. Anyway, so we got tons and tons and tons of stuff up. I appreciate the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. Definitely tell your friends about it if they like learning about cars and doing all this fun stuff, whether it's, simple electronic stuff like this, or if it's, huge 26-foot limos with hot tubs in the back that do big smoky burnouts. We can do that too. So whatever you guys like to do, if you want to watch us live stream at the track, you're welcome to join us. And I appreciate you guys very much. I'm doing this all organically. I'm not paying for subscribers. I'm not boosting posts. I'm not paying for ads or anything like that. This is all very straightforward, very simple. So that's why I'm very grateful for everyone who signed up. You guys are great. And I don't have a huge rack or a really nice ass, so it's harder to get subscribers. I could put up a lot of vapid shit here and, have 100,000 subscribers, but I just don't have the chesticles for it. So I appreciate you guys very much, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Definitely love the comments, and I love the suggestions from you guys. So please keep doing that. Don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Give me a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them but it is far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you. If we don't stream tomorrow, then we'll definitely stream on Friday evening. Take a look at this. We'll have the new tools. We'll do something cool on Friday evening. Might even have the limo in here. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. We will talk to you soon. I want to do the Jay Moore voice. I want to see the trunk open and just go, what? It's a Miata. That just cracks me up.